Welcome to the Plant Conservation Volunteer Program. This video will talk about some of the history of Native Plant Trust and the Plant Conservation Volunteer Program, also known as the PCV Program. Native Plant Trust started out as the New England Wildflower Preservation Society. We are the nation's oldest and one of the largest membership organizations devoted exclusively to native plant conservation. The New England Wildflower Preservation Society was founded on September 1, 1900, when a Society for the Protection of Native Plants was established in Boston by Amy Folsom. At the time, women were not allowed into the New England Botanical Club, another well-known botanically focused organization, and no group existed that was focused solely on preserving wildflowers and native plants. The New England Botanical Club dealt mainly with other topics related to botany and not necessarily the conservation and protection of native species. The founding members of the New England Wildflower Preservation Society were concerned about the overharvesting of trailing arbutus, Epigea repens. This native wildflower is very fragrant and visually appealing, and people at the time were picking trailing arbutus to bring into their homes as centerpieces, then throwing the plant away once they started to wilt. Today, both organizations allow women into their clubs, and trailing arbutus is doing well in the wild thanks to the efforts of the New England Wildflower Preservation Society. Our botanical garden, Garden in the Woods, is located in Framingham, Massachusetts. Garden in the Woods was founded in 1931 by Will C. Curtis and Howard O. Stiles to research the science and practice the art of growing native plants. Curtis and Stiles cultivated their garden for nearly 35 years. In 1965, Curtis and Howard entrusted Garden in the Woods to Native Plant Trust, with which they had had a long association as a showcase of the organization's purpose. Since then, Garden in the Woods has served as a botanical garden open to the public. I strongly encourage you to come and visit. The property holds 45 acres of native plant paradise located in Framingham, Massachusetts. The garden displays the largest landscaped collection of native plants in the Northeast. We also have a large collection of North American Trillium species certified by the North American Plant Collections Consortium, also known as the Plant Collections Network. Nasami Farm Nursery is another Native Plant Trust property in western Massachusetts. It is a multi-purpose property, serving as a sanctuary, a native plant nursery, and an education site. Nasami Farm encompasses 78 acres of a mix of wet meadows, old fields, nurseries, upland forest, and alder swamps with 2 state-listed species on site. It is also the location of our rare plant seed bank cleaning and storage, and raises more than 100,000 native plants each year for projects and retail. Who are we? We are the Conservation Department. We run the conservation programs for Native Plant Trust. Our director, Michael Piantadosi, has a wealth of knowledge and experience in plant conservation. You will soon get to know me, Micah Jasny. As the botanical coordinator, I organize the Plant Conservation Volunteer Program and also act as the data manager for all the rare plant data we track. Jessamine Finch is our research botanist who, along with seed bank technician Kate Wellspring, manages the Native Plant Trust seed bank. Eric Seckler is our ecological program coordinator. He takes care of all management and botanical inventory projects we work on, as well as managing the Native Plant Trust and sanctuary properties. Finally, Arthur Haynes is our senior research botanist and is responsible for managing New England plant taxonomy for Native Plant Trust. If you need any assistance identifying a plant, Arthur is happy to help. In addition to our full-time staff, we hire 3 conservation interns every season, and we could not do what we do without them. Our conservation interns help us secure landowner permissions and coordinate the rare plant monitoring we do across New England. They are also here to help you with all aspects of your surveys and volunteer work as well. For our conservation work, we coordinate with each state's Natural Heritage Program. These programs were established in the 1980s by the Nature Conservancy and have since been passed on to each state to manage. State natural heritage programs already have lists of rare plants they are concerned about and provide rare plant data to our program. In return, we help to update their rare plant data by providing survey data gathered by NEPCOP. Earlier, I mentioned NEPCOP, the New England Plant Conservation Program. What exactly is that? This program is our main focus in the Conservation Department and works to conserve rare plant occurrences across New England. The PCV program is a subset of this program that utilizes volunteers to monitor the occurrences of rare plants across the New England landscape. We also have a group of professional botanists who we call our task force that not only helps us prioritize rare plant populations to monitor, but also decides on how to best conserve rare plants in New England. A little more background on NEPCOP. NEPCOP was started in 1990 when we held our first meetings in each of the 6 New England states with our task force members to decide what direction we wanted the program to go to preserve rare plants. One of NEPCOP's goals is to provide ex situ species conservation as a complement to habitat protection. This means we wanted to start seed banking rare plant species. But what became immediately evident is that updating the status of the rare plant occurrences, not seed collection, was the greatest need for rare plant conservation in the beginning. First, our focus started on state-listed rare plant species, but then switched to a New England regional focus with the publication of Flora Conservanda in 1996. We found that even with our task force members and state natural heritage programs, there were not enough personnel to regularly survey all of the rare plant populations in New England. Each state in New England only has 1 or 2 state botanists and limited staff to help them. So in 1993, we started the Plant Conservation Volunteer Program in Massachusetts to assist with rare plant monitoring. Within 6 years, the program expanded into all New England states and became a regional program that Native Plant Trust continues to run. Working with volunteers at first brought up some concerns and fears, mostly surrounding the reliability of data collected by volunteers and data security. Would volunteers be able to accurately identify rare plants and keep their site location information confidential? I am happy to report that our volunteers are incredibly passionate about the protection of rare plant species, and we have not encountered any issues with data reliability or security. Volunteers in our program are also trained to work hard to collect accurate information about rare plant occurrences. To provide a timeline of the NEPCOP program, in 1993, the PCV program started. In 1996, Flora Conservanda was published and included 574 taxa for monitoring and protection. In 2003, the Herbarium Recovery Project was completed by Arthur Haynes. He looked at 42 major and minor herbaria for 532 rare or poorly known plants. In 2011, Flora Nova Angliae, the New England region's technical plant key, was published by Arthur Haynes. In 2013, an update to Flora Conservanda was published and included 593 taxa for monitoring and protection. In 2015, The State of the Plants was published, which details the challenges and opportunities for conserving New England's native flora. In 2016, Wildflowers of New England, our region's field guide to wildflowers, was written and published by Native Plant Trust staff member Ted Elliman. From 2019 to 2022, we worked with PCV George Koser to create a secure database and website for surveyors and volunteers to exchange rare plant data with us, referred to as the Species Rare Occurrence Utility, or SPROUT. Until recently, our organization was named the New England Wildflower Society. In 2019, we decided to change our name to Native Plant Trust to better reflect the work our organization does. You may still see our organization referred to as New England Wildflower Society, or NEWS, periodically in older program documents and publications, and on the Sprout website. Also, in 2023, we moved our headquarters from Garden in the Woods to Wayland, Massachusetts, 321 Commonwealth Road, Suite 204, Wayland, MA 01778. A little more information on the State of the Plants publication created by former senior research ecologist Elizabeth Farnsworth. The State of the Plants found that 22% of New England's native plants are rare or deemed historic. 31% of the 3,514 documented plants are not native. 10% of these are invasive and directly threaten native species. On average, rare plant species have lost 67% of their known range in the region. Species that are considered rare in New England are also considered rare in 38% of states and provinces outside of New England in which they occur. We will hopefully publish an update to the state of the plants in the next few years, and this publication is available on our website and in this training course as a PDF download. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at mjasny@nativeplanttrust.org.